1 second. Can you guys hear me all right? Haven't done one of these in a while. Hey, Happy New Year, everyone. Just give me 1 second to get settled in here. How's the sound? Oops. Sorry, it's been a minute. Trying to figure this out again. I haven't done one in a minute. And I'm trying to watch myself on my computer screen. I have the, let's see, I have the laptop right there. So, all right, we'll just jump into it. So there's a lot going on. I've kind of been sitting on some information for a little while. I wanted to just enjoy the holidays and in the new year and all that stuff. So I've just been kind of sitting on some stuff. But as most of you or all of you probably know, I had my criminal trial, back the second week of December, whatever it was. We came back, I think, late through the second week. And, whatever happened there. And we had a mixed verdict on that. Well, I think the verdict came out on Thursday or Friday, the week of, give me 1 second. Let me see, hang on a second, sorry. Yeah, so I think we got the verdict on December 15th or whatever it was. I think that was that Friday, whatever. Well, the following Monday, or Tuesday, whatever it was, I received some orders from Judge Tomlinson. And it was some stuff he's been sitting on for, 15 months, 18 months, whatever. And it had to do with some issues we litigated that had to do with the PPO and this gag order he has in place. He's got of course, my ex has a PPO against me. Everybody knows about that. She's had one on me for 8 years now, going on almost 9 years, whatever. But there's also a gag order in place that says that basically we're not supposed to talk about stuff that could invade the privacy interests of Oakley. We're not supposed to allow the media to take pictures of her. We're not supposed to discuss things that haven't been discussed about in court. Just a bunch of nonsense that he put in place. And it's basically just to make it so I can't talk about the case. And just me. Anyone else can talk about the case, but I just can't. And so back in early 2022, I had posted some pictures of Oakley. And then over the summer of 2022, I posted some pictures of Oakley, and I had been texting my ex's mom. I text my ex's mom all the time. We text back and forth. We have for the last 9 years. I talk a lot of shit to her in those texts. I make a lot of snide comments to her, and I basically tell her what a shitty person she is and what a shitty grandparent she is for the role she's played in, in these proceedings and in all the stuff that's going on. So. So my ex tried to violate me on that. She tried to violate me on texting her mom, and she tried to violate me on posting the picture of Oakley, saying it violates the PPO and it violates the gag order. So whatever. So had to go to court on that. We litigated those hearings. The first hearing was, I think, July 14th. We didn't get through that one that day. We had to come back on September 29th. Then we had to come back for the second hearing, for the second issue, the whole second set of stuff on October 20th. So since that time, Tomlinson's been sitting on this stuff. So since September 29th, 2022 and October 20th, 2022, he's been sitting on some opinions. and taken some matters under advisement. Well, he issued those orders 3 days after my criminal trial concluded, and they didn't get the result they wanted there, so he decided to throw his hat in the ring. So basically what he's saying that by posting pictures of Oakley, it violates the PPO, and it also violated the gag order. He also says that by texting my ex's mom, that violates the PPO, because my ex's mom would tell my ex that I was texting her, and they were trying to say it's direct communication between me and my ex. It's total bullshit. It's not going to hold up on appeal. It's whatever. But the thing is he then scheduled, Happy New Year, bud. He then scheduled my sentencing hearing for, January 18th of this year, which is the day before I have to go see Judge Hackle for sentencing on the criminal case. But there's a bunch of stuff going on with both issues, with the criminal case with Hackle and then this thing with Tomlinson. So he's basically trying to throw me back in jail for 90 days, Tomlinson, on January 18th. He's going to give me 90 days. He always gives me the maximum. The problem he has, and this is a very significant issue for him, it's a very substantial issue, and it's a huge violation of not only my due process rights, it also violates the court rules. I was representing myself in those hearings that had to do with the PPO and the gag order. Who said they're going to be with Tomlinson on the 18th? Oh, Leah? Yeah, see you there. Well, maybe not, because I got some things in the works. So anyway, yeah, he's trying to throw me back in jail. And like I said, I was representing myself in those hearings. Well, the court rules are very clear on this. When a litigant says they're going to represent themselves, and I'm going to pull this up because I got my laptop right here. When a litigant says they're going to represent themselves, the judge has a duty and an obligation at every hearing that has to do with that matter. So say I go in and I get arraigned. He says, Mr. Linke, do you want a lawyer or do you want to represent yourself? I say, Your Honor, I'm going to represent myself. Every hearing after that we have to hold that is dealing with that issue that I was arraigned on or dealing with, he is required to ask me at the beginning of every future proceeding if I still wish to represent myself. He has to do this. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. I'm looking it up right now. I think it's MCR 6.005. And a big shout out to my wonderful, amazing, young-looking, old-ass lawyer, Lisa Stern, because she helped me out with this one. She gave me the court rule that I needed. So, 60, let's see, 6.005. All right, so MCR 6.005 says right to assistance of a lawyer, advice, appointment for indigence, waiver, joint representation, grand jury proceedings, blah, 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 blah. A says advice of right. At the arraignment on the warrant of complaint, the court must advise the defendant of entitlement to a lawyer's assistance at all court proceedings, and that the defendant is entitled to a lawyer at public expense if I don't have the money to get one, blah, 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 blah. But here's where it gets interesting, and this is where it is going to cause Tomlinson a ton of issues. And he's done this to me a million times, and I've never realized it was a problem until now. But because of all the dealings I've had with Judge Damon and Judge Hackle and the way they handle those things when I represented myself, I got to thinking about the way things have been going with Tomlinson, and I realized that there's an issue there. So MCR 6.005 subsection E says advice at subsequent proceedings. If a defendant has waived the assistance of a lawyer, the record of each subsequent proceeding, e.g. preliminary exam, arraignment, proceedings leading to possible revocation of youthful trainee status, hearings, trial, or sentencing, needs show only that the court advised the defendant of the continuing right to a lawyer's assistance and that the defendant waived that right. Before the court begins such proceedings, the defendant must reaffirm that a lawyer's assistance is not wanted. Number 3 says, if the defendant wants to retain a lawyer and has the financial ability to do so, the court must allow the defendant a reasonable opportunity to retain one. And then it ends with, the court may refuse to adjourn a proceeding for the appointment of counsel or allow a defendant to retain counsel if an adjournment would significantly prejudice the prosecution and the defendant has not been reasonably diligent in seeking counsel. So the short version of that is basically, when I told Tomlinson at the very first show cause hearing, when he said, hey, here's what the allegations are, here's what's being said, do you admit or do you deny it? I said, I deny it. He said, okay, we're going to have an evidentiary hearing. And he says, do you want a lawyer at that hearing or are you going to represent yourself? I said, I'm going to represent myself. Every hearing after that, he has to, before we start those proceedings, he has to say, Mr. Linke, do you still want to represent yourself? Tomlinson never does that. And he didn't do it at these hearings he's trying to throw me in jail on. So the problem he has in this is that he did not follow the court rules and he did not ask me, Mr. Linke, are you still want to forego the assistance of an attorney? Where it gets really problematic for him is right here. And I'm going to read you guys this. And I'll post this stuff, because I'm in the midst right now of getting this all before the court to try to avoid going to jail in 2 weeks. So we have to go to, hang on, I'm on my computer. So on July 14th, 2022, we had the first hearing. And this was for texting my ex's mom and for posting some pictures of Oakley and for saying where Oakley goes to school, that she goes to school in Marysville, and then saying how old she is. She's 9. So he seems to think that somehow invades her privacy rights, but it's publicly available information that's already been put out in the public through the school, through the Times Herald, whatever. So, and this is where I want you guys to listen. So he says, so I'm going to say next Wednesday, blah, blah, blah. He said, okay, here's what we're going to do. So this was on July 14th, 2022. We had a 3-hour evidentiary hearing. We didn't get through it. At the end of the hearing, at the end of the day, he says, so what we're going to do is we're going to continue on Wednesday, August 3rd at 9 a.m. And that ended up being, we ended up resuming on September 29th, but that's not the important part. And he says, so, okay, we're going to come back Wednesday, August 3rd at 9 a.m. because we're not going to get done at the pace we're going. Okay, cool. So then I said, Your Honor, I can hire an attorney for that hearing, can I? He says, you cannot. We are in the midst of a hearing. You are not able to hire an attorney. You are representing yourself. And I said, can I have advisory counsel too? And he says, you cannot. I says, I can't bring anyone, or I said, I can't bring anyone. He said, I gave you the opportunity, like we already talked about, to either have an advisory counsel or to retain an attorney. You are not going to add an attorney in the midst of an evidentiary hearing. This is in the transcripts. That is so violative of MCR 6.005 subsection E. It also violates my constitutional right to have an attorney and have legal representation, especially in proceedings when jail is on the line. When my freedom and my liberty is in jeopardy, I have the right to an attorney, and he has to protect that right. If you guys watched my criminal trial with Judge Hackle, you will notice at the beginning of each day of that hearing, he said, Mr. Linke, I already know what the answer is going to be, but I am required to do this. Do you still want to represent yourself, or do you want an attorney? And I said, I'm going to represent myself, Your Honor. He did that on day 1 of trial. He did that on day 2 of trial. We came back on day 3 for only deliberations. It was just so the jury could continue deliberating. There was no more testimony, no more anything was going to happen that day. It was simply we were waiting the jury out. But before we started that hearing, the judge said, he said, Mr. Linke, I already know what's going on, but again, I am required to ask you this. Do you want to continue representing yourself, or would you like a lawyer for today's hearing? And I said, I'm going to represent myself, Your Honor, but I appreciate you asking. This is all out there. Judge Damon used to do the same thing for me. He used to protect my rights when I had my stuff in front of him. He would always ask me. Judge Damon said, I have to do this. I know it's monotonous. I know it's repetitive, but I am required by the court rules to ask you if you still would like to represent yourself. Tomlinson didn't do that. And he did it for a very shady reason, because they were pulling a bunch of bullshit on me in those hearings, a ton of bullshit. I addressed it earlier in the hearing. I said, I don't understand what's going on here right now. You have 3 attorneys, Dave Highbauer, Amberina Med, and Ashley Stone. They are ganging up on me. They are not all supposed to be involved in this hearing. I said, I want an attorney because I don't think this is right what's happening. He said, I'm not giving you the adjournment. I'm not doing it. At the end of the hearing, when we had to come back for day 2, months later, it was scheduled for months later. We concluded this on July 14th. He said we're not coming back until August. So it would have been 60 days, 2 months. We weren't coming back. I said, I want to hire an attorney for the second day of the hearing. He said, you cannot do that. Bullshit. Bullshit. And so now he's trying to throw me in jail after he forced me into litigating hearings that I said I wanted an attorney for. I said, there's things going on here that I need legal representation. I need legal counsel. I need legal advice because I do not believe that what's happening here is proper. It's highly improper. And he said, you're not getting it. So I'm going to put this back in front of him. We're going to see what he's going to do. The other problem he has, and this is a much bigger issue for him, is I had a big conference call with the Judicial Tenure Commission this morning to address this issue. And I started explaining to them like I did to all of you. I told him, hey, you know, the judge is like, I told the judge I want to hire an attorney. He says, you cannot. And then I said, I want to bring advisory counsel for the continuation. He says, you cannot. And I explained this to the JTC, to the staff at JTC. And one of the investigators was like, wait a minute, you have this in writing? And I said, I do. And you're telling me that the judge said this and you have this in writing that he said this. I said, I absolutely do. I said, I have the full transcripts from all the hearings. Kristen, you read my mind. I have the transcripts. And they said, please send us all of those. So that's what I did. That's how I started my morning off. So Tomlinson is getting yanked off the bench. I may have to go to jail again on the 18th, and I may have to sit there for a week, 2 weeks, or 75 days. I may do the whole sentence. That's just, it is what it is. I'm trying to avoid it. I have some pleadings I'm drafting that I'm going to try to make that not happen. But yeah, he's got big problems. He already had big problems. This one's just this is the icing on the cake. He's done. John Tomlinson's judicial career is over with. I promise you. I promise you. There was already substantial issues he was facing with the Judicial Tenure Commission. This one here is going to be, it's not even the nail in the coffin or the icing on the cake. This is just, in real time, the JTC is now going to watch this, and they have been watching this. So not only did he wait 16 months, 18 months to issue rulings, which that violates the canons and violates a lot of the stuff, a lot of the constitutional rights we enjoy ourselves, is just the substantial delay. One of the canons, I think it's Canon 3 or Canon 6, it says the court shall dispose of court business promptly. You don't get to sit on stuff for 15 months, 18 months, and then throw people in jail. And he's done this to me a bunch of times. He had one he sat on for 2.5 years and then threw me in jail 2.5 years after the fact, after we litigated the case. But this one, he's done. He's cooked. It's over with. His judicial career is fucking done, and he knows it. So we're going to see what he's going to do on this, because I'm going to file a motion. We were going to run to the Court of Appeals to have them deal with this, but that takes some time. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to file a motion for reconsideration, pointing out his mistakes to him and his missteps to him. And the motion for reconsideration has to go in front of Tomlinson. I'll file it directly to him. And my hope is that he answers it and he just lies in it like he does. And he says that what he did is right and whatever. But we're going to see what he's going to do. I'm going to keep feeding him that rope and just let him hang himself. So that's kind of where we're at on that. You know, I won't say, I mean, yeah, I will say I've been kind of stressed out about this. I don't care about going back to jail. It is what it is. You know, I've done a bunch of time there. I really don't want to go back. I don't want to have to sit in that place for 75 days. I don't want to have to sleep with the lights on and eat the food and you know, sleep on a fucking mat and all that. So, you know, I've been somewhat stressed about this. You know, but I'm dealing with it. It's just, every time he puts my back against the wall like this, it really gets me, it puts me in a position where I buckle down and I really kind of just close myself off and I try to find ways of where he messed up. And this has happened every time. This time again, I found some very significant problems with what he's doing, and I'm going to shove it right down his throat. And the JTC is going to shove it down his throat. So we're going to see what he's going to do. You know, but this is a big deal. You can't deny a litigant legal representation when they want it and when they state on the record that they want it. And then when you don't give them legal representation, then find them guilty and then throw them in jail. You know, because number one, posting the pictures doesn't violate the PPO. It doesn't violate the gag order. Texting my ex's mom to talk about the case and to talk shit to my ex's mom does not violate my PPO with my ex. It's not direct contact. It's not indirect contact. It has nothing to do with my ex. I don't like her mom. I don't like the things her mom has done in these proceedings. I don't like the things her mom has done to alienate my daughter from me. I have my own conflict with my ex's mom, and I let her know about it all the time. But they're trying to make it that it's all about my ex. And that's just what mom doesn't have a PPO. Mom has never asked for a PPO, ever. Her mom has never once gone to the court and asked for a PPO. That's the thing. They're trying to say that somehow her mom's not going to get her PPO. There's no reason to. I don't threaten her mom. I don't harass her mom. I don't stalk her mom. I don't do any of that. I simply talk shit to the grandmother of my daughter, who I believe has been a big problem in my custody case. You got to remember, my ex's mom tried to say that I was lying about what was going on at the Moeller farm. My ex's mom has tried to insinuate that I posed a threat to my daughter. My ex's mom Renee has done a bunch of shit herself that has caused her and I to have our own personal conflicts. So she doesn't block me. She testified I don't block him because he always tells us what he's going to do or what's going on, and I want to know that, and we want to know that. So she keeps that line of communication open between us. But then when they want to try to throw me in jail, they go and do what they do. So, it is what it is. I don't even care about her. They're irrelevant. My focus is on Tomlinson, and he stepped in it once again. He stepped in the big pile of shit one more time. And this one is going to be, now he's doing this while the JTC is actively watching him. They are focused on him. They are clued in on him. So that's not the only issue. So there's another big issue here, and this involves the prosecutor's office. And I really hope, Mike Wendling, I hope you're watching this, you little fuck. And Soderberg, I hope you're watching this too, you goofy little bastard. I really hope, because I know your office watches everything that I do, and I hope you guys watch this, or I hope someone out there that's watching this sends it to them or tells them they got to come watch it, because Mike Wendling, Paul Soderberg, and the St. Clair County Prosecutor's Office are in a bunch of trouble. They are screwed. So my criminal case, I was charged with aggravated assault. And I was charged with aggravated assault because Jeff Donaldson got up and said that when he fell down, he suffered a contusion on the back of his head and he suffered a concussion. And anybody that watched the trial, you watched that testimony. On direct examination by Paul Soderberg asked Jeff Donaldson, said, hey, you were ordered by the doctor to go do a bunch of stuff. You had to go do a bunch of imaging and do all this testing and go to all these appointments. And he said, you followed up on all of those, correct? And Jeff Donaldson said, yep, I went to everything they told me to do. They told me to go get an MRI. They told me to go get a CT scan. They told me to go here and to go there and da-da-da-da-da. And I did all of that. So then I got up on cross-examination. And I said, Mr. Donaldson, did you had an MRI done, correct? He said, yes. And I said, it was for your head and your neck, correct? He said, yes, it was. And I said, and I want you to think about this very carefully, Mr. Donaldson. I want you to take a moment to compose yourself because this is very, very, very important. And I really need you to focus here. I said, did you give those MRI results to the prosecutor? And he said, I gave the prosecutor a bunch of medical records. And I said, that's not what I asked you. I said very specifically, and this is important, Mr. Donaldson, did you give the St. Clair County Prosecutor's Office your MRI results? And he again said, I gave him all kinds of stuff. And we went back and forth. Well, then Judge Hackle jumped in, and Judge Hackle said, wait a minute. He said, do you remember if you gave him to him or not? And Jeff Donaldson said, I don't remember. And Judge Hackle said, well, there you go. Let's move on. And I moved on. So then Soderberg got up on, I don't know if it might have been redirect. He got up on and said, Mr. Donaldson, you gave us a bunch of medical records, whatever. And he doubled down on it. Well, that testimony piqued something in my interest, and it kind of, a light bulb went off. So wait a minute. This dude just said he had an MRI done, and I don't have those MRI results. And I asked for them because I saw that I was given medical records where it was notated in there that he was referred for an MRI. So I asked Paul Soderberg numerous times. I mean, I'm talking 2, 3, 4, 5 times. I said, hey, I want Donaldson's MRI results. And Paul Soderberg kept telling me, I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no knowledge of an MRI being performed. I have no knowledge of MRI results. I don't know anything about an MRI or anything of that nature. That was an absolute lie. And I didn't know it at the time, but that he lied. So after that second day of trial, I filed a motion asking for a mistrial based on the fact that the St. Clair County Prosecutor's Office withheld exculpatory material and impeachment evidence by not giving me the medical records relating to the MRI that I specifically asked for numerous times. In his response, Paul Soderberg said, we never had access to those MRI records. We never sought those records. We never saw those records. We never had access to those records. I don't know anything about an MRI. That was a lie. Because 2 hours after my trial ended, I received some communications from somebody in the St. Clair County Prosecutor's Office that gave me an email between Jeff Donaldson and Paul Soderberg where they specifically discussed the MRI results and the visits he had with the neurologist about his supposed head injury. So they suppressed the biggest pieces of evidence in the case. The St. Clair County Prosecutor's Office deliberately suppressed and did not give them to me. And they didn't give them to me because they knew they were going to sink their case. And they knew they didn't support the charge of aggravated assault. This is a huge fucking deal. It's a Brady violation. It is a violation of the rules of professional conduct. It is a violation of the Michigan court rules. And it is a violation of my due process rights. I had every right to have those medical records. I specifically asked for them. And I have give me 1 second. I have here a pile of case law, federal and state case law. I got so many that deal with Brady violations and deal with prosecutors withholding information and withholding evidence. See, Paul Soderberg thinks he's slick. He thinks because he never took the medical records themselves that somehow that negates his obligation to give them to me. Doesn't work that way, Paulie. You idiot. Take your ass back to law school because you're an idiot. You don't deserve to have a law license, and I'm coming for your law license. The AGC's already involved. You got problems coming. When I asked for these MRI records, even if Soderberg didn't have them, he knew they existed. He had an obligation to go get them for me, and he had to give them to me. He can't play. He told Hackley didn't have them, even pretend to look exactly. Not only did he lie to me, he lied to the judge. Hackle's going to lose his mind when he finds out that Soderberg lied to him. Hackle does not take that stuff lightly. He does not like it. And he warned Paul Soderberg at one of our pretrial hearings. He said, Mr. Linke, I'm going to assign advisory counsel to you because prosecutors do some tricky stuff, and I'm not letting that happen here. And then Paul went and did it anyway. The judge warned him not to do it, and Soderberg did it anyway. But what Soderberg didn't count on is somebody from his office doing the right thing and leaking that email to me. And Soderberg is going to make this big deal. Oh, well, how'd you get the email? Doesn't matter how I got it. It's a public record. And I asked for it. I filed a FOIA request back in August asking for all emails between all county departments that reference me, Jeff Donaldson, Rob Dreerick, and my criminal case. They purposely took the email out of my FOIA request because they knew that once I got the email saying that they weren't giving the medical records to him, they knew I was then going to go look for the medical records myself. They deliberately and maliciously withheld exculpatory evidence and withheld material evidence and withheld impeachment evidence. The bigger problem, or another problem that Soderberg has, is when I asked Donaldson, prosecutors have a professional obligation to correct false testimony. So when I asked Donaldson, did you give the prosecutor the medical records, the MRI results? And he said, I don't remember. Paul Soderberg should have got up on redirect and said, Mr. Donaldson, Mr. Linke just asked you about some medical records. You said you don't remember, but you did in fact not give me those records, correct? And he was supposed to get that out there, and he didn't, because they never thought I was going to get my hands on this email that I have. And you have to see this email. I'm not going to show it right now. I'll show it tomorrow. But it literally says, hey, Paul, great meeting with you in your office today. Hopefully I didn't hold your workout up too much. But here's all the medical records from all the places I've gone. Here's the bundle I'm going to give you. Contained in this bundle is A, B, C, D, E, and F. Here's what's not in the bundle. MRI results. Visit with MRI doctor. Visit with MRI doctor. Summary of visit with MRI doctor. They deliberately withheld these records from me because they knew that these records did not support an aggravated assault charge, and they knew their case was in trouble if I got them. And they withheld them. This is what they did to me. They are so scared of me and so afraid of me that the deck is already stacked in their favor, that they had to go above and beyond to make it even more stacked in their favor. This is bullshit. You're afraid of a guy who's never taken a criminal justice class, who's never been to law school, who doesn't have a law degree. You're so afraid of a fair fight that you withheld evidence because you overcharged me. That jury should have never had to consider an aggravated assault charge. They only convicted me on the lesser charge of A and B because it was a compromised verdict. Had they never had to consider an ag assault charge, they would have never found me guilty of the assault and battery that they did. That case is getting tossed. I'm filing the motion tomorrow. The motion's already drafted. I'm working on the brief in support. It's almost done. It's getting filed tomorrow. And then, so here's the other thing. Gary Fletcher personally told them to take the emails out. And somebody in Gary Fletcher's office told me this. Because see, here's what the prosecutor's office and Gary Fletcher and the rest of them don't understand. I have spies and moles in all of their offices. I have staff members at the St. Clair County prosecutor's office that feeds me a bunch of information. I have a source two sources actually, inside Gary Fletcher's office that feed me information. They work for Gary Fletcher, they work for Mike Wendling, and they tell me all kinds of stuff. Good luck figuring out who they are. I hope you drive yourselves nuts trying to figure out who they are. But it's too little too late because I got it all now. I have in my possession all of the information. I have the documents in black and white. So we'll see what they're going to do. And I've been sitting on this stuff and sitting on it and sitting on it. So yeah, they're trying to throw me in jail. We're going to see what's going to happen. But this is how crazy these people are. They are so focused on getting me and making me out to be this, whatever they're trying to make me out to be, this unhinged, crazy, unstable, nuts, violent, aggressive person. And they just want to stick it to me so bad that they are ignoring the law. And they don't do this to just me. They do this to everybody. The problem with them is that I have sources and I have a network and I have a bunch of people that feed me all kinds of information from inside their offices that they can't stop it. They better figure out how to plug the leaks. But again, it's too little, too late. So I can't wait to see how they answer this motion, this pleading, and what they're going to say, because this is irrefutable. They can't even deny it. Crystal, no, I haven't. And I was in the courthouse all day today. I didn't hear anything. But yeah, these people, they're out of control. They're absolutely out of control. They don't know what to do with me. And they can't fight fair. A fair fight, I'll kick their ass every single time. They have to lie, cheat, steal, manipulate, conspire. They got to do all kinds of stuff. Yeah, we all know Brown's stepping down. What we're looking for is when. Some different dates have been put out there, whatever. But it's just, this is unbelievable what they're trying to do. And not even what they're trying to do, what they did. I mean, this is exactly what they did, and they got caught this time, big time. They can't win a fair fight. They're not even going to win an unfair fight. This was a completely unfair fight. I had no chance in any of this. Everything I tried to do, they blocked. I knew the medical records weren't matching up the ones they gave me compared to what they said, so I went and tried to get more stuff. They said the stuff doesn't exist. They were pulling stuff out. They were not giving me stuff. They were doing everything they could to make sure I didn't win, and I'm still gonna win because I always fucking win. You can't do what they're doing. You can do it to people that don't have the resources or the wherewithal or the fortitude or the resilience, and the people that just don't know, that they just don't know what they don't know. You can't do this shit to me and get away with it. Because now we're taking the fight out of their sandbox. We're not even, screw them. We're not even dealing with them. We're having all kinds of other people. And yeah, I do win, but I've lost. I've lost 9 years with my daughter. I've lost a relationship with my little girl. I've lost getting to watch her grow up. I don't even know my daughter. I don't know what she sounds like. I barely know what she looks like. I don't know anything about her. From except what I knew when the 3 years that I had her or had contact with her. So no, ultimately I lose in all of this. But I'm taking these fuckers down. Every last one of them. They have serious professional issues coming, and some careers are going to be ended over this. Oh, you guys are going to see. It's all laid out in my motion and my pleading and my brief in support. And I'll probably be posting it tomorrow. I'm just trying to button it up. I was trying to get it today. I didn't get that far. Some other things came up. But this whole thing with Soderberg, Paul Soderberg is a clown. And I hope you like being TikTok famous, asshole, because you're TikTok famous. Hundreds of thousands of views of your nonsense. And you're crying and you're whining. So I hope you like it. Maybe you should find a way to monetize it. Maybe you can go get paid. Like you say, I'm getting paid for this shit. They have. Who just said that? Hang on a second. Yeah, Greg, they've been doing it to people for so long. Exactly. They've been doing it forever. This time they did it to the wrong one. Like, flat out the wrong one. Oh, Paul Soderberg better hope I never see him in public. I'm going to do a lot more than jostle his ass. Like, they stacked the deck so heavy against me. They did everything they could. I was the victim in that case. They would not let me allow to do that. They allowed perjured testimony. They elicited perjured testimony. And it still wasn't enough. I still beat the most serious charge. Literally beat 2 out of the 3 charges and you got me on the compromise verdict, which the jury should have never had to consider. And you guys saw the message from one of the jurors. She said, even though we convicted him on the lesser charge, it was a weak guilty plea or a weak guilty verdict. Well, a weak guilty verdict, that's reasonable doubt. It should have been not guilty. They should have never had to consider that ag assault charge. Oh, the TikTok's out there. Go to the Through My Eyes TikTok. If you have TikTok, there's a Through My Eyes page on TikTok. Go to it. You'll see. Paul's on there. The one video of him has like 320,000 views or 340,000 views. About 500 comments and people just eviscerated him. Go to the Through My Eyes YouTube channel. You'll see people just talking shit on there. These people want to be famous? Well, I made you social media famous. All these videos are going viral. All of them. They're doing all they can to lock me up because they think it's going to shut me up. And they've gotten me. In the last 9 years, they've done it a lot. They've been successful. They've been able to do it. Not this time. Because I'll go to jail this time. It's fine. I'll go sit my ass down for 75 days knowing that you're all done. You're done. You are not getting out of this. And I can't wait to see how they try to explain this away or how they try to spin this or how they try to do whatever they're going to do because they're just going to look stupid. The one thing they can do in all of this, just admit responsibility. Say, guess what? We got caught with our hand in the cookie jar. Our bad. We'll see if they got the balls to do that or the courage to do that. But I bet they don't. Like I said, you picked the wrong one this time. You took the wrong little girl. And you engaged with the wrong fucking dad. And I have dealt with these people in such a way, I have fought as fair as I could fight in this. And I have played by the fucking rules. And I've literally gotten my ass kicked up and down for 9 years. Every which way. Oh, their egos are inflated. Their sense of fucking importance is inflated. Everything about them is inflated. They're a bunch of turds. Nothing but a bunch of scumbags who think they're somebodies. Yeah, well. Oh, Carrie, they can get away with it till they can't. Yeah, they have gotten away with it until now. Because now it's all, like, here's the thing. Tomlinson's sister, the JTC already forced her ass out. She's gone. She did what she did in my case. I went and pulled all their cases, and I wrapped her up. She's gone. Tomlinson's gone now, too. Yeah, you're right. They do get away with it until now. And now they're not getting away with it. Not for too much longer. The culture of corruption in St. Clair County and in the courthouse, in all the local governments, it's outrageous. It is outrageous, and it goes on everywhere. But not everywhere has someone like me and people like all of you, and has all these things going on highlighting it. This is what we have. This is the power we have. Is we're able to pull the curtain back on all this shit and shine a light on all of it. And they thought they were slick. They literally, I mean, they're piling on me right now with the whole criminal case. They're charging me. I also have a pending charge right now for disturbing the peace from getting arrested at the city council meeting a few weeks ago. So they finally authorized those charges. So we're going to do another trial. It's going to be great. And I'm going to subpoena Freed. I'm going to subpoena the entire city council. I'm going to subpoena Kerrigan, Platzer. I'm going to subpoena probably 20, 30 people that were at the meeting that night. We're going to do this whole thing again, this trial shit. I'm going to go put on my suits again. I'm going to go in that courtroom, and I'm going to get to play lawyer once again for a disturbing the peace charge. Let's do it. Hopefully, Paul, send your next best one. Paul wasn't good enough. Send Josh Sparling. Maybe he can get the job done. Send Kaylin Wilson. She's a liar. Send her. See if she can lie her way through to a conviction. I bet she can't. Send Deegan. Send Jennifer Deegan. Send any of the scumbags you got working in that office to come up against me. See how it goes. Because I just kicked the shit out of Paul Soderberg. And every lawyer, every attorney up in that courthouse will tell you I absolutely kicked the shit out of that man at that trial. I came in there, I used your own witnesses against you, I used your own evidence against you, and I smoked your ass. And I'll do it again. It's disturbing the peace. Find me guilty. Big deal. We're going to put it all on display again. Trey, I know a lot about that situation. I'm not going to talk about it. It's not my place to talk too much about it. Just know I knew the victim in that case. I knew Mr. Silver. I dealt with him quite a bit. He was always very respectful to me. He was a great man. It's an absolute fucking tragedy what happened to him. And I hope that I hope that the suspect in that case, I hope he gets dealt with once he hits the yard. Once he gets to prison and he hits that yard, I hope somebody deals with him. Because what he did was the biggest cowardly shit I've ever seen in my life. But I'm not going to talk about that one. You know, things are bad here. They're really, really bad here. We have the people that are occupying the positions that are supposed to be looking out for all of us are some of the worst humans on the face of the earth. They don't give a shit about the community. They don't give a shit about any of us. All they care about is patting themselves on the back and having these positions of stature and trying to act like they're pillars of the community and all that. Nothing could be farther from the truth. They're fucking scumbags. James Freed's a fucking scumbag. Pauline Rep is a scumbag. Sherry Archibald is a scumbag. Pemberton, Moserack, scumbags. John Tomlinson, you're a scumbag. Mike Wendling, scumbag. I can go on and on and on and on and on. Deb Johnson, you're a scumbag. Thelma Castillo, you're a scumbag. You're a bunch of nasty fucking people. And it's all, I'm gonna go right down my list. Knock you off. Because I'll tell you what, once I get rid of a circuit court judge, everything else is easy. It's impossible to knock a judge off, and I'm about to do it. I already got his sister and forced her ass out. Hang on, I'm just reading some of this. Sparling should just stay out of my way. You know, he's got his eyes on Wenling's spot, though, because Wenling thinks he's going to get a judgeship. Wenling's got these big dreams of being a judge, and Sparling wants to. Cleveland's out. I mean, yeah, Cleveland retired. We know that. Zero integrity. Zero. Whoever just said that. I got to go to jail again, possibly, potentially, because I post pictures of my daughter and because I talk shit to my ex's mom. Wenling's trying to get that judgeship, Paula. He's trying to get that appointment. And if you know how things work in St. Clair County, it's how a lot of them got on the judges. How Mona got on the bench, how Hulowitz got on the bench. That's how Tomlinson ran unopposed. You gotta understand how things go around here. See, none of them can win a judgeship, so they try to get that appointment. That's why they do things the way they do. Because then they come up, when it comes up for the election, they're the incumbent. You know, and that plays a difference with the voters. You know, it's gonna be interesting to see. We're gonna see something with this whole Brown thing, because, like I said, I'm being told that he's gonna step down here soon. So someone's getting that spot. You know, but this, you know, the thing is, you know, because me and my mom have been talking about this a lot and stuff, you know, and she's over all this. She's tired. She's over this. You know, she wants me to kind of step back from some things and to change some things and whatnot. But, you know, somebody has to take these people on. And it's got to be somebody willing to deal with the consequences and to deal with the repercussions and the blowback that comes with doing this. And I'm that guy. You know, and to, you know, I have to put myself in the line of fire to do this, because you have to draw out this bad behavior. And the only way to draw it out is to get them to engage in it. You know, so it's, you know, as much as it sucks, there's no other way to do this. And not only do you have to be able to draw the bad behavior out, you have to know what to do once you expose the bad behavior. And that's one thing I've been really good at. I have completely educated myself on the Michigan court rules and on the judicial canons and on the rules of professional conduct and the ethical obligations and due process and the Constitution. I know it all. I've read it all a bunch of times. I've read it over and over and over and over again, and I understand it. And I have a badass legal team behind me and beside me and in front of me. I have a bunch of really experienced attorneys that I can call at any time on any day and get the answers that I need. And then I know what to do with the shit. You know, these people, these local officials think they can just do whatever they want. They can ignore their ethical obligations and the rules and the policies and all this stuff, and they can just do whatever. And that's fine. But you didn't contend for someone like me to be out here. You shouldn't have taken my fucking kid. You took my daughter. You think I was going to sit idly by and let that happen? Not only did you take her, you put her in harm's way. And you think I was just going to be quiet about that? Not a chance. I've never been quiet about shit in my life. And I've never been afraid to deal with consequences from my behavior. Because I'm going to do what I think's right. And I'm going to do what I think needs to be done. And if I got to put my ass on the chopping block every time to do it, then so be it. Because there's no other way to do this. We can't just all go in. Paula, you know. I mean, Temujin, I mean, he knows it better than anyone. The man's been sitting in prison for 37 fucking years for something he couldn't have possibly done. That some of the top judges, federal judges, state judges, the head of our Michigan Supreme Court, the fucking FBI agents, local investigators, everyone fucking agrees that Temujin is fucking innocent. Everyone, except for Mike Wendling and Steve Gilliott. Steve Gilliott, you're a fucking clown too. And who else? And Robert Cleland. And Dana Nessel. 4 fucking idiots. Oh yeah, this man's guilty. Yet all these hundreds of other people say he's innocent. But we should trust the judgment of a bunch of fucking idiots. Of 4 fucking idiots. 5 fucking idiots. One of them, Mike Wendling's a drunken and adulterer. Steve Gilliatt's a fucking idiot. Cleveland, I don't know what Cleveland is. I don't know enough, but he's just a fucking idiot. Dana Nestle's fucking Dana Nestle. No, that's not who appoints judges. Whitmer appoints judges. The governor appoints judges. Whoever just said that. You know, there's a man sitting in prison right now for 37 fucking years for a crime that he couldn't have possibly committed. Couldn't have possibly committed. Jason, your interpretation of Bob it's not. I disagree with your opinion of Mr. Crosby. Spend more time with him. The guy, he's on the level. I've spent a lot of time with him. I've chatted with him a lot. I supported him during his campaign. You know, the guy, you know, he's not like the others. He's just not. I wouldn't associate with him if he was. I wouldn't have anything to do with him if he was. Okay, I've spent a lot of time talking with this man, a lot of time. You know, and we don't agree on a lot. We have differing opinions and viewpoints on a lot of things. But I'll tell you what, I believe Bob to be an honest man. I believe him to have integrity. I believe him to know what the law is, and I believe him to be a steward of the law and someone that tries to adhere to the law. So, you know, like I said, I disagree with your opinion on that. You know, I think he'd make a great judge. I think this community would be better if Bob Crosby was a family court judge. No, Jason, he doesn't just shaking hands and kiss babies. I'm just, you're wrong, bro. You've had one case with the man. I'm just telling you. It's one case. You got to understand. Here's the thing a lot of people don't understand. Lawyers can't get everything right. There's always going to be a losing party in litigation. And lawyers aren't always going to do to the T. Nobody can in any job. You know, that's like me. You'll find people that love me and people that hate me. You know what I mean? You know, it is what it is. Okay, but I spend enough time with these people and watching these people and talking to people. Like, I know who the good people are. I know who the bad people are. Always, Jeremiah, always. Well, not always. Sometimes the truth is just the truth. You know, there's sometimes I get there's you know, this side, that side, and the truth. But sometimes the truth is just the truth. You know, and sometimes you know, sometimes one side is just telling the absolute truth. You know, it's not always, you know, he said, she said, and then the truth is in the middle. Sometimes what he said is the absolute truth. Sometimes what she said is the absolute truth. You know, but I get the analogy. You know, but sometimes people just tell the fucking truth. You know, I try to, as much as possible. I try to keep things as factual as possible. Because here's the thing. You can go back to 9 years ago, to stuff I was saying in court 9 years ago, to stuff I say today. There's no change. There's none. I've never wavered. Okay? Because the truth is so easy. You will not find one transcript where I've said one thing and a transcript where I've said something else. Everything I've said has been the absolute fucking truth, and it's been factual, because I have found that is the easiest, best way to do this. It makes it simple. You guys saw me testify. You guys watched Rob Drurick testify. You watched Jeff Donaldson testify, and you watched me testify. Rob Drurick, I don't recall. I don't know. I don't recall. For everything that he thought was going to hurt him. But the stuff that he fucking thought was going to help him, he remembered clearly. Same thing with Jeff Donaldson. Jeff Donaldson lied his ass off. He lied about everything. But you watched me on that stand. I was calm. I was collected. I sat there and looked the prosecutor in the eye the entire time, and I just told the truth. They said, did you do this to him? I did. Did you say this? Were you calling them names? I sure did. There's no reason to lie. I see the thing. People only lie because they're afraid of the truth. That's the only reason anyone lies, is because you're afraid of the truth. You're afraid of what's going to come if you tell the truth. I'm not afraid of the truth. The truth is easy. If I go out and punch a motherfucker in the face and then someone says, hey, you punched that guy in the face, I'll say, yeah, sure did. I punched the dude right in the goddamn mouth. He deserved it. Or I felt he deserved it. You know? Said people only lie because they are so afraid of what's going to come out if they tell the truth, or what's going to happen if they tell the truth. You know, and like I already said, go back, you can read. I got piles of transcripts. You should see. I mean, I have every transcript from every hearing I've ever been involved in the last 9 years. Every single transcript. We're talking over 200 transcripts. Tens of thousands of dollars in transcripts. You will not find one inconsistent statement in those transcripts from me. Not one. You will not. I have not changed one story. I have not changed one set of facts. I have not changed one recollection. Nothing. I said, here's the fucking truth. This is what I've done. Here's the good things I've done. Here's the bad things I've done. Here's the indifferent things I've done. But you go back and you read my ex's testimony, she's all over the place. 1 minute, it's like he beats me up and he's punched me in the face 1 time. And then he's punched me in the face 10 times. And he's manhandled me in such a way that it doesn't leave marks. And I've called the cops a bunch of times. And I've always dropped the charges. So then it's why I never actually called the cops. There were never any charges. Well, which one is it? Either I have been beating your ass and I've been charged a bunch of times, you dropped the charges, or you've never called the cops. It can't be both. You can't have called the cops a bunch of times or not have called the cops a bunch of times. Well, I've never called, but I should have. Well, you just said you did. You just said you called them a bunch of times. Like the whole Larry Whitcomb thing. Oh, first, Larry Whitcomb's not around anybody. Then it's, well, he's only around people in a little bit. And then which one is it? Either he's around people or he's not around people. It can't be both. You know, it's like Jeff Donaldson. Oh, he chest bumped me. Oh, he shoved me. Oh, he walked aggressive. Which one is it? I couldn't have chest bumped you and shoved you. I did one or the other. Can't do both. Oh, my knee was swollen up. Oh, there was no swelling. Well, it can't be both. Oh, I had a contusion on the back of my head. Oh, well, I didn't have a contusion. Well, which one is it? You know, that's the problem with these people. They don't understand, man. And you got to remember, you go into court, your shit's all recorded. It's all there. It ain't ever going anywhere. It's literally all there. Exactly. Who said that? Hang on. Yeah, exactly, Doug. The embellishing, the exaggerating, the fucking lying, the dishonesty. It's like, just tell the truth. If you think something you say is going to hurt your case, say it anyway, because it's the truth. You know, I could have got up on that stand and said, I never touched Jeff Tomlinson. I didn't go anywhere near him, because from any of the video, you couldn't see that I ever touched him. You see, there was no contact. I could have went there and said, I never touched this man at all. I didn't chest bump him. We never made any contact. We never did. I didn't. When they said, here's what happened. We got in each other's space. I took a step. The man fell down. Sorry about your luck, bro. Sorry you got a little boo-boo. Maybe next time, mind your own fucking business. Maybe next time, stay out of shit. Maybe next time, identify who the real victim of assault was before you throw yourself in the middle of 2 people. You know, and then you got Tomlinson out there. Tomlinson just lies. Tomlinson has said that I've sent naked pictures to my ex's brother, that I sent naked pictures to all the people she works with. He has said that what else? I had physical confrontations at parenting time exchanges. I mean, they're saying all kinds of stuff. None of it's true. None of it's supported by any evidence whatsoever. Not text messages, not pictures, not independent third-party fucking testimony, nothing. The only people saying I'm doing stuff are the people that have something to gain by fucking saying I did something. You know, you heard Officer Sly, or Sergeant Sly. You heard her. Sergeant Sly, was I being truthful in my resuscitation of the facts to you, in my version of what happened? Yes, you were. And based on what I told you, you felt that I was the victim of an assault. Yes, you were. So why the fuck did I have to sit at the defendant's table? I told her I struck the man. Not struck him, but, you know, pushed him away, whatever I said. I said I defended myself. He hit me. It's like Rob Dreerick. He couldn't even admit that he hit my arm. Well, I hit your phone. Like, that makes a difference. My phone is the same as me, dummy. It didn't matter whether you hit my phone, you hit my arm. You assaulted me. Hitting my phone is assault. Hitting my arm is assault. But you think by saying you only hit my phone and not my arm that made a difference, that was somehow going to negate what you did. It doesn't work that way. So why not just tell the fucking truth? Why not just say the dude was videotaping me, I didn't like it, so I struck him in the arm to get his phone out of my face? Just tell the truth, man. That's all you gotta do. But you lied, and I got found not guilty because I didn't do shit to you. And now you gotta, see, here's the other thing. Rob Jurek, I'm suing him in small claims court for my phone, and I'm suing him in state court for malicious prosecution. So, you know, have fun with that one, asshole. Because I beat you, and I beat those charges, you now have a lawsuit coming. So you're going to go spend a bunch of money defending that lawsuit. And then you're going to pay me. And the more you fight it, the more you're going to spend. See, the one thing I've done is I have sat around and I have educated myself on the fucking law. I sat in jail for a year. 2 years ago, I spent 12 months, straight 12 months. Not 10 months with good time. I spent 12 months. And I spent a good majority of that time in solitary confinement by myself. And what I did is I sat there and I read the fucking law library. That's all I did all day long. Literally all day, all night is I read the law library. I had people sending me case law. I had people sending me all kinds of shit. And I just read it all. And I immersed myself in it. It's like I said, I know this shit. And I know this shit because they put me in the middle of it. I had to learn it. It was the only way to protect my daughter. It was the only way to protect my freedom. It was the only way to protect myself and to protect my family. Because I had to learn the law. And I had to learn the rules. And not only that, I had to learn why people got in trouble for breaking the rules. Like, okay, this judge did this and he got in trouble for it. Okay, how can I apply that to what my judge is doing? And there's a reason that the JTC has been investigating Tomlinson now for 3 years. And he's the subject of a formal investigation by the Judicial Tenure Commission. That's because the stuff I sent him, I wasn't like, oh, this judge hurt my feelings. You got to do something to him. I said, no, I identified what the canons say. And I read, I think, 25 years of annual reports from the Judicial Tenure Commission. Read the whole reports from top to bottom, all of them. Last 25, 30 years, whatever it's been. Read all of them. I read about when every single judge that got in trouble, why they got in trouble, what behavior led them to getting reprimanded or getting removed or getting disciplined. And then I applied it to my case. I said, okay, this judge got in trouble for this. Well, my judge did this. Okay, so here it is. So I knew when I sent in my complaints and my grievances to the JTC, I knew how to word them, and I knew how to format them, and I knew how to lay them out that the JTC would say, okay, there's something to this. This is within our purview and within our wheelhouse. We can take action here. You know, and that's why I've been so, I haven't been successful yet, but I've made things happen. And bigger things are about to happen. Thanks, Cece. You know, that's why I got the Port Huron City Council now running to a federal judge to tell me that I can't do what I want to do. Okay, have at it. Because 100 other people are going to start doing it. Once they tell me I can't do it, that's just going to motivate 100 other people to start doing it. What are you going to do? File federal lawsuits against all of them? Knock yourselves out. See how that goes for you. I got James Freed. Oh, people don't want to bring their kids to the city council meetings. When the fuck did people ever bring their kids to the city council meetings? Go back and watch. They're all on YouTube. Go back and watch the last 10 years of Port Huron City Council meetings. You can probably identify 4 or 5 times that people brought kids there. Yeah, good thing I have broad shoulders. James Freed, oh, they said that I lunged at the police chief in their pleading. I didn't lunge at him. I tried to blow him a kiss. It's on video. That's the thing, Todd's a fucking liar. Maybe, Todd, your kid's such a piece of shit because you're such a piece of shit, Todd. Because you're a liar. It's all Todd Shouty does is lie. All his pleading. He just lies. Makes things up. Fabricates the truth. Embellishes. Like somebody else said. Maybe that's why your kid's running around punching people in the face and bullying everybody. Because he's a little fuck. Tristan Shouty's day is coming too. I promise you that. It's like, Tristan, you got 3 other police officers wrapped up in a federal lawsuit now because you can't keep your hands to yourself because you were raised wrong. Because your goofy ass dad raised you with a silver spoon in your mouth like you were fucking entitled. Yeah, you're going to be entitled to the ass whooping that's coming your way. Because it's going to happen. Tristan Shouty's he's going to do something to someone one day, and he's going to get a response that he is wholly unprepared for. It's one thing to go beat up a little fucking 60-year-old drunk man who's fucking weighs 100 nothing pounds and 5'2". One of these days he's going to run his mouth or put his hands or do something to somebody my size or someone a lot bigger than Charles Reed. And Tristan Shouty is not going to be ready. He is wholly unprepared to defend himself from somebody that knows what the fuck they're doing. And from somebody that knows it's coming. You punched an unsuspecting dude right in the face, and that dude laughed at you. That dude laughed at you. Your whole department's laughing at you, Tristan. I promise you, every police officer, every dude, and every female officer you work with are talking shit about you behind your back. You are a joke to them. I promise you that, because some of them have told me that. And the only reason they even deal with you is because you're little daddy. But we're gonna see how long Fletcher Falk Shouty Francis. We'll see how much longer they have a grip on this community and on the city of Port Huron. I'm gonna dismantle the whole fucking thing. No, there's sociopaths and there's psychopaths. I mean, these people are so fucking, they're gone. And like I said, they don't know what to do. They are literally running to a federal judge because they're saying, oh, well, Kevin's getting other people to come to these meetings. He's inspiring other people to come to the meetings and say we're doing illegal stuff. No shit. Because you're doing illegal shit. People finally now have the courage to speak up against it because they have me out in front of everyone taking the brunt of the blowback. And when you're all focused on me, that means that you're not focused on them and that they can come up and they can say what they want to say and they can start putting the truth out there. And they know that they're not going to have to worry about anything because I'll stand in front of them. And if you don't like me, I don't care. If you think I'm going to alter my behavior or change my behavior to pacify a bunch of people that don't like me, you're a fucking idiot. And you obviously haven't been paying attention at all to who I am as a person. Okay, I am not going to conform the way I act to make some other people happy that don't even like me anyway. And they're not going to like me. Even if I change my behavior, you're still not going to like me. So why would I change? I'm comfortable in my own skin. I sleep well I won't say I sleep well at night, but it's not that people don't like me isn't what keeps me up at night. You know, this is the first time, I don't want to say it's the first time in the history of Port Huron, because there have been a lot of other people before me that have tried to stand up to him, but for whatever reason, they come after him and they're able to intimidate him and stuff. But, you know, I am the first person in this county and in the city of Port Huron that's been able to withstand these people and to be able to withstand their bullshit and to stand up to them. And I've only been able to do it because I have an amazing, supportive family and I have all of you out there. You know, this isn't some one-man, it's a one-man show, but it's not. You know, and there's some people out there like this Mason Tyree dude or chick, whatever you identify as, whatever. It's just like, oh, you don't do shit, blah, blah. What do you do? Except live in a fantasy world. Oh, you haven't done shit? You just aren't paying attention. If you think my efforts haven't accomplished shit, you're just a hater. You just have your head so far up your ass you don't know. You know, because I can go right down the checklist of the things we've been able to do through my efforts and through the collective effort of all of us. There is tangible evidence out there and tangible results that show we've accomplished a lot so far, and much more is coming. Oh, they're paying attention, Lisa. They just can't give me any accolades. They can't, you know. But I mean, shit, we got Melinda Johnson out at Blue Water Community Action. We got Deb Walbeck out at CPS. We got the River Church. We got Girl on Fire and that whole bullshit. And the daycare place, you know, Cozy Corner, Tomlinson's sister. I mean, I can go on and on and on about the shit that we've accomplished. Another one coming up soon is Josh Chapman. Josh Chapman, he's a clown. I hate to tell you, but the dude running the YMCA, and there's a lot of stuff going on at the YMCA. I've been talking to a lot of staff members there. Josh Chapman is a bully. He's an asshole. And his days, you're going to become the focal point of my efforts at some point, Josh. Or you can start acting better. But see, you want to be up there with all the white folk too much. Here on House, I hear there's a lot of issues there too, Doug. I'm going to get to that too. I know a lot about a lot. I know much more than I even talk about. Quan at Marysville PD, she's another problem. Milk House, another problem. And I've talked about some of this stuff. I just, they had me distracted with trying to keep myself out of jail and the stuff I've had to deal with. But I'll tell you what, once I'm able to cut myself free of Tomlinson and all that nonsense, people in this, some people, they better buckle up. Because when I don't have this distraction of Tomlinson and all that stuff and of trying to get my daughter back, and I can really give some attention to some other people, they're in for it. You are not prepared for me. I'm a fucking monster. To these people, these unethical, just shitty people, I am the monster under the bed. And I pose a very, very significant threat to you, professionally and otherwise. You know how much time the St. Clair County Prosecutor's Office and Fletcher Falco Shouty Francis and Gary Fletcher and some people in Matt King's little circle and people in Platcher's circle of PHP, you know how much time they spend watching all my stuff? Because they watch all my videos. They read all the comments. They read all the posts. They are obsessed with me. The people that hate me the most are the ones that are the most obsessed with me. Next council meeting, Bob, next Monday. I'll be there. A lot of people are going to be there. Josh Conant's family's going to be there because that's a whole nother issue, is the whole tragedy of Josh. And what's been amazing to see on that is to see the billboards that Josh's family are putting up all over town. Fucking amazing. So buy the sweatshirts. If you see the post, buy the sweatshirts, the Justice for Josh sweatshirts, because that's what's helping fund the billboards for Josh, because we're not letting that situation die. What they did to that young man was absolute bullshit, and people are going to fucking answer for it. Chelsea Cain's going to answer for her role in that. I promise you. Smartest thing Chelsea Cain can do, or whatever fuck her name is I'd leave. I'd get the fuck out of Port Huron. Your career, your future at PHPD, you have a target on your back, and you're always going to have a target on your back. I want you to not feel safe in this community, the way this community feels unsafe with you in it. So Chelsea Cain, you should feel very unsafe in this community. You had a duty to protect Josh, and instead you helped fucking murder him. And while his family, they'll be nice to you, not me. You don't fucking deserve it. Because I'll tell you what, if that was my fucking family member, I'd be sitting in a prison cell right now and you'd be sitting in the fucking ground. You and them 4 scumbags from fucking the Roach. I promise you that. But fortunately, Josh's family are very good fucking people. The ones I've met and the ones I've spoken with and that I continue to speak with, they are good fucking people. And they are handling this the right way. But I wouldn't be handling this the right way. Fucking Casey's family. That's a whole nother fucking thing. I'll tell you what. Casey's mom's a much better person than I am. The way Steph is handling this, tell you what, if PHPD failed to protect my fucking little girl and harm befell my little girl, that fucking department would be missing a lot of motherfucking officers. That's just real talk. We're not talking like they went and harassed a family member. Fucking kids are losing their fucking lives. A 19-year-old kid got gunned down in the fucking streets because PHPD wouldn't do nothing to stop it. A 26-year-old man is fucking not here anymore because a bunch of fucking scumbags from some shithole bar decided that they're fucking the law. Decided that they know what the fuck they know what to do. And that they have a right to do what they did to fucking Josh. Then you got Chelsea Kane, that little fucking... But I'll tell you what, they're just lucky that Casey's family and Josh's family are the people that they are. And that they have much more restraint than I would ever have in that situation. You know, Jay Sontag and whatever those, that's the one name I know for sure. And all them, yeah, I'd keep hiding. Every single one of those bouncers, I would stay in hiding. Because you show your face anywhere, you pop that head up, someone's going to pop it off. You know, these people just continue on with their lives. You know, the city council members and these officials, they just, you know, they got to just spend the holidays with all of their family. Casey's mom had to spend the first Christmas alone without her fucking 19-year-old son. Josh's family just had to celebrate Christmas without their 26-year-old son and their nephew and their brother. But Chelsea Kane, you're still sitting out there on duty? Yeah. Better watch your six. Oh, I know the family member, Sherry. I know exactly, or the city, I know exactly who sent the postcard. 100% know who sent it. I actually contacted the person who sent it and said, you better come out and you better admit to sending that postcard. So we're going to see what they're going to do at the next city council meeting. But I 100% know who sent that postcard. And the person who sent it knows that I know because I contacted them. I sent an email. Said that I know you sent that postcard. So just admit you sent it. Apologize for sending it. Say you misspoke. Say you didn't mean what you said. Now that's the Wrigley Center, whole nother issue. There's all kinds of issues here. The Wrigley Center is exposing itself. That whole building, all the problems that have already happened there in the last just 6 months it's been open, it's just going to continue to expose itself. The build quality, the code violations, the tenant. I mean, it's just that building's gonna tell on itself. It already has started to. We're seeing it. They just moved some new businesses in. They'll be moved out soon enough. Guarantee they're not able to sustain themselves there for long. Simple economics. You know, but we got scumbags like Larry Jones. Who's that? Kristen? Yeah, Kristen, you know. You know, we got Mike Cope. Someone posted about that. You know, Mike Cope's killer's still out there, and I'm pretty sure we all know who it is. Pretty sure a lot of people in Mike Cope's family, a lot of people close to Mike Cope know exactly who fucking hit him that day or that night. And the person that did it knows that then people know. You know, there's so many problems around here, so many. So it's hard to even keep track of all of them. But, you know, like I started out on this, I may be going to jail here in a couple weeks. Sentence's on the 18th. And whatever. So worst case scenario, 75 days. But it's not gonna slow me down. It's not gonna shut me up. It's not going to do any of that. You know, it's just gonna be, I'll probably learn a bunch more shit. You're gonna put me in the jail for 75 days. Imagine all the stuff I'm gonna find out in 75 days. You're gonna put me around all the rank and file in there and all the depths. They're gonna tell me all kinds of shit about what's going on in there and what's going on with the command staff and all the rumors and the gossip and all the bullshit. So throw me back in there. Watch what happens. I'll use it to my advantage. It's one thing I've been very good at. I've been very good at using, you know, the bad things I got to deal with. I've been able to flip them around and use them to my advantage. You know, so yeah, throw me back in that facility. I'm sure Matt King will be ecstatic to know that I'm going to spend 24/7 for 75 days around a bunch of staff members that don't like him. And don't like Oljanek, and don't like Adams, and don't like Tracy DeCausin, and the rest of the shitbags there. You know, and I'll get through 75 days. Shit, I've gotten through almost 3 years in the last 9 years. What's 2.5 months? 10 weeks. 10 weeks of just taking notes. 10 weeks of just sending out messages. 10 weeks of phone calls. So, do it. Fucking dare you. Fuck a protest. Protest is what it is. Just put me in. Every time they put me in that jail, I come out with all kinds of new shit. But yeah, we like I said, I got some. I've leveled the playing field quite a bit on this stuff that I got hanging over my head right now. So we'll see what they're gonna do, and we're gonna see how it's gonna turn out. So, all right, that's all I got tonight. I'm gonna go eat some dinner. I got that. It's been a minute. We haven't talked to anyone. Hope everybody had a good Christmas. We'll end this on a nice light now. Christmas was great over here. It was. I mean, obviously, it was missing a big part of it because, you know, obviously Oakley wasn't here and we didn't get to do all that, and you know, so that's always missing. But yeah, it was good for us that were here. You know, the kids had fun and whatnot. New Year's, didn't do too much on New Year's. I had severe food poisoning the night before, like the worst food poisoning of my entire life. It was really, 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 really bad, and it was really disgusting. And it was a lot. But yeah, I hope you guys had a good Christmas and had a good New Year's, and you know, we got are at the start of a whole new year now, and you know, we'll see what we can make of it and what we can do with it. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of work to be done still. Oh, Rena, I'm not even gonna confirm or deny. I'm just telling you, it was the worst. I've had food poisoning probably 3 times in my life. This being the probably the 4th, and it started at about for sure, Jeremiah. It started at about, I don't know, 1 o'clock in the morning, the night before the morning of New Year's. And it basically, the entire night I spent sleeping on the floor outside of the bathroom. And even something as simple as taking a drink of water would not stay. It was bad. Rena, maybe, I don't know if there was no cure for this. The only cure was getting the poison food out of my system. It was horrendous. I mean, I'm talking, and it was so bad. I was not a happy camper. It took me all day, New Year's Day, all night. I mean, I was bad. I don't know what I ate or what it was, but it did a whole number on me. And the worst part about it was I was so thirsty, like I was so parched the whole night. And so I just had to drink stuff. I was drinking water, which apparently you're not supposed to, but I would just drink the water, and then it just, it was bad. Yeah. But yeah, other than that, everything was good. Everything's doing whatever. You know, we'll find out some things, but I will be posting that stuff tomorrow. As soon as I get these pleadings all the way down, I'll be posting them in their entirety so everybody can see what's being said and whatever. And then as soon as Soderberg responds, I'll be posting that too, and we're gonna see what they're gonna do. But yeah, this one's gonna be a good fight. Basically, what's going on right now is you know, we're in like the final battle of all this. You know, right now I'm in it with the prosecutor's office, with Tomlinson, with Fletcher. You know, with all this is the big thing. I have an appeal. I'm working on the appeal right now for my parenting time, because that was the other thing. My parenting time got denied. My request for parenting time, I posted some of that or told people, you know, Tomlinson denied that. One of my lawyers is working double time to get that appeal drafted and get it filed, because we're going to go to the Court of Appeals and just say, look it, man, I deserve that parenting time. This judge is way wrong in what he's doing. So, yeah, this is, I am fighting on all fronts right now. Like, I am fully engaged across the board with the criminal stuff, with the civil stuff, the PPO stuff, with the parenting time stuff, and all these little bastards I'm in. Like, we are in a war with each other right now, and like it's like an Infinity War where all the Avengers are there and all the bad guys are there, and everyone's just literally, that's what's going on right now. That I'm literally in the midst of that right now, and I've been kind of quiet about it, and I'm just dealing with it. But we're working diligently to handle this. It's all hands on deck. I have all my lawyers are literally all handling different aspects of it and are doing an amazing job and all that. And no, this is we are fucking duking it out right now. Because like I said, I'm trying to stay out of jail. I'm trying to get parenting time, and I'm trying to fucking really end this time. And so yeah, that's what it is. But all right, I rambled on enough. I'm gonna go eat. Love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Keep an eye out on the page. There's a lot of stuff coming out over the next few days. See ya.